Weather Service has issued a tornado warning. This is for south central Gaston County, also northwestern York County and upstate South Carolina, east central Cherokee County. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located about 11 miles just northwest of York near Smyrna in South Carolina, moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. This is going to be near Crowder's Mountain State Park at about 1248. Clover and Kings Mountain State Park around 1250. Gastonia, South Gastonia around 1 o'clock. Cramerton, Lake Wiley, McAdenville, Belmont, and Lowell around 1:10. Once again, a tornado warning in effect, and this areas include south central Gaston County, northwestern York County, and east central Cherokee County in South Carolina. So the area we're talking about covers a great deal of our area. You can see Cherokee, Gaston. That's until 1:15 this afternoon. We'll take a look and show you first warn Doppler Radar to give an indication of where some of the storm activity is going. Doppler Radar, this is near Smyrna, as we're talking about, in that area right there, located pretty close to Smyrna, tracking to the northeast and moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So tracking northeast at about 40 miles per hour in this general direction. So we're talking about near Filbert at about 12:56 this afternoon as we take a look and show you the radar situation at the moment. If you are in these areas that we're talking about, please seek shelter right now. That would include that northern part there, the northern part of York County into the southern part of Gaston County. You'll find that's the area we're talking about right there. Moving to the northeast at about 35 to 45 miles per hour, tracking, eventually moving into the Clover area, also heading into Mecklenburg County eventually. So we're going to keep an eye on this situation. Take shelter immediately. Clover towards Filbert, all the way up towards Bowling Green, and that area up towards Crowder Mountain. That's another area that we're talking about with a significant potential for tornadic activity in that area. So those are the areas we're talking about right now, moving eventually over towards Gaston County, South Gastonia, into Crowder's in that area. So that would include Bethany, the Clover community, also into Filbert there in South Carolina. This we're looking at the potential for those strong and severe thunderstorms spawning a tornado. So once again, moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. If you are in these areas, take shelter immediately. Please take shelter immediately. This is for Gaston, York County, and also to about 1:15 this afternoon. You can see the extent of the storm activity right now. Clover, Bowling Green, over towards Bethany, into Filbert, in that area. Those are areas we need to take shelter immediately. So that warning is in effect right now. If you're driving and plan to move out of your house and take action on the highways, please be careful out there. These areas right now, very dangerous situation in those areas. I would say take shelter immediately. Avoid driving if you can, if you're out on the highways at the moment. So once again, you can see the radar picture right there. That intense cloud to ground lightning. We're getting some very gusty winds as well. Something to think about if you're heading out at the moment. We'll kind of expand the view and show you the radar shot at the moment. That tornado warning is for Gaston, York County to 1:15 this afternoon. Also includes areas we're talking about Crowder's Mountain State Park, over towards Clover, Kings Mountain, Gastonia, South Gastonia around 1 o'clock. Moving to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So it's a fast-moving system tracking in that direction. We'll put a kind of put a timeline of this right here, moving into the South Gastonia at about 1:10, Gastonia at 1:14, 1:21 at Belmont, 1:26 at Mount Holly, Charlotte Metro about 1:34, Mint Hill at 1:48 this afternoon. So these are the areas to think about. If you have travel plans, please avoid those at the moment with the potential for these gusty winds. Obviously, tornadic winds. We're getting some reports of winds gusting over about 50 to 60 miles per hour in those areas at the moment. We'll take a look and show you the velocities at the moment in those areas. The Filbert area that we've seen the potential for a lot of the tornadic activity at the moment. We'll take a look right now at some of these reports coming out of that area. Greenville, Spartanburg velocities. We're going to take a look at that in just a minute here. That tornado threat obviously includes the Charlotte area. You can see we've expanded the potential for tornadoes into the Charlotte area. That's when you see a 5% chance, that obviously means we're looking at the potential threat in that area for Charlotte all the way to Gastonia, Albemarle, Southern Pines, Rockingham, and in that area as well. Vanessa, are you there right now? You had something you wanted to report?
Yeah, that's right, Larry. We just want to remind folks, as you are telling everyone to get into their safe location in these affected areas, that we would like folks to, of course, go into maybe an inside room, perhaps a room without windows. If you have a basement, certainly that would be a good option, but avoid sheltering in a room with windows. So maybe a bathroom, a closet, a center hallway. We always talk about bringing things to protect yourself, particularly protecting your head and your neck. So if you can get under something sturdy, maybe a heavy table, if you have a workbench, you could cover your body with a blanket, maybe a sleeping bag or mattress. We've even heard some of our meteorologists on staff talking about bringing a bicycle helmet, as silly as that might sound. Anything to protect your body, your head, your neck is going to be very important. Don't stay inside a mobile home. If you are in a mobile home, you want to try to get into a nearby building that preferably has one of these safer locations, a place with a basement. If you are inside a car, you know, Larry talked about trying to avoid getting onto the roadways if you can, but if you know somebody who's in these areas inside a car, make sure that they know not to try to outrun any sort of tornado that they see. Find a nearby sturdy building. So, of course, we will keep an eye on all of this. We want to make sure that you have our app downloaded, the WCNC Charlotte mobile app. A situation like this is a great example of why having this is handy. If you do have to move into your safe location, you can bring your phone with you. We could be with you, talking you through the movement of this system, where we're seeing the trouble spots. You can get the latest alerts. And of course, you know, we've been telling you before to go ahead and get this downloaded so that you could have this ready to go. But if you don't have it already, make sure you go ahead and download it. It is free in those mobile apps for you, and perfect for a scenario like this, as well as any other breaking news situations. Larry, I'll send it over to you to see if you're tracking anything.
Thanks, Vanessa. Thank you very much. Great information right there. Also have your WCNC weather app. Sometimes people lose power in this situation, and that's a time to use that as we take a look and show you the Filbert area up towards Clover and that area. We take a look at the velocity right now, moving to the northeast about 40-45 miles per hour. So people in Lake Wylie, Tega Cave, you're in the southern part of Gaston County towards Crowder's Mountain, that area, over towards Berry Hill in the Charlotte metro area. Be aware that is tracking their direction. Once again, a tornado warning in effect for south central Gaston County, northwestern York County, and east central Cherokee County. That's until 1:15 this afternoon. Headed basically towards Crowder's Mountain at this time. So if you're in that area, take shelter immediately. And once again, if you have any kind of helmet, whether it be a bike helmet, motorcycle helmet, any type of helmet to protect yourself in these situations. Around Lake Wylie, some heavy rain moving in this area. One of the other situations we're dealing with this type of tornado is they're rain wrapped. You really can't see it. Don't expect to see a funnel cloud, but take shelter immediately. Go to your safe place. Very important to do that. Go to the lowest part of your house. These are just some great ideas. Way to save yourself. The lowest level of your home. Move to an interior room with no windows. If you have a basement, obviously a basement is the place to go at the moment in these areas. And that would include Crowder's Mountain, Clover, Kings Mountain area, Gastonia, South Gastonia, over towards Cramerton, Lake Wylie, McAdenville, Belmont, and Lowell. In those areas, be aware this system is moving in your direction, moving northeast at about 15 to 25 miles per hour. We'll take a look and show you the radar picture once again. Some of the bulk of this storm system is moving into Gaston County at the moment, coming out of South Carolina, coming out of York County in South Carolina, over towards Clover and that area. We're talking about areas around Gastonia, South Gastonia along Interstate 85. And once again, if you can avoid traveling at the moment, if you have travel plans, please avoid that at the moment. Very dangerous situation in those areas. We're talking about over towards Lake Wylie, Newport, around York and that area, tracking northeast and moving at about 40 miles per hour. That's the extent of that movement of the storm system. So please be careful in there. We'll put a timeline on this. Lake Wylie about 1 o'clock. Pine Harbor area at 102. Shopton at 110. Hebron at 114. Paw Creek area about 119. Toddville at 120. 121, and that would include Uptown Charlotte, Shuffletown at 123. Those are the areas that we're talking about with the potential for some of the storm system moving in there. So once again, that tornado warning in effect until 1:15 this afternoon. And those areas, Crowder Mountain State Park, Clover, Kings Mountain State Park, until about 12:50 this afternoon. If you have travel plans, please be aware this storm system is tracking out of York County. It came out of Smyrna, is now moving in a fast-moving system, moving at about 45 miles per hour. So we're talking about areas over towards Clover in South Carolina. That would include areas around Lake Wylie. You folks are in Lake Wylie. We'll zoom in and show you some of the communities that we're talking about in that area. Some of the highways affected by this would be Highway 321 all the way from Clover into areas around Bowling Green up towards Crowders as you head into South Gastonia. Some of the highways there, Highway 55 area right there you can see, and that's all in York County as we kind of zoom in and show you some of the areas that we're talking about. Over towards Lake Wylie, one area could be affected by this. South Gastonia, South Gaston County, another area. If you're living there, please take shelter immediately. Once again, a tornado warning, 1:15. A tornado was sighted, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located at the time just northwest of York or near Smyrna, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. It's a fast-moving storm system, and even though it may not be an actual tornado on the ground, this is a severe thunderstorm that can have winds well over 60 miles per hour. A lot of cloud to ground, lightning, about it, very heavy rainfall as well. So take that into consideration. You can see the extent of that storm system moving northeast, headed right into the southern part of Gaston County. So we mentioned a minute ago, if you can avoid any travel plans, please do that. We'll take a look and look at our camera in York County, Rock Hill in South Carolina, looking off in that direction. You see the dark clouds in that area. So that's in York County there in South Carolina. So once again, we do have the tornado warning. That's in effect until 1:15 this afternoon. That would be for South Central Gaston County, the northwestern York County, and into east central Cherokee County. That's in South Carolina. Some of the areas impacted would be Kings Creek, Bethany, and Crowders as you get into that southern part of Gaston County around Lake Wylie, McAdenville, and also into the Belmont area. You folks live there in that area, please take shelter immediately. Quite often, even though this may not be an actual tornado on the ground, it's considered a severe thunderstorm. You can have winds well over 60 miles per hour. It's a very dangerous situation, so we encourage you to take shelter immediately. Some of the areas impacted, Bowling Green community about 105, Lake Wylie area 115, eventually headed towards Belmont about 122, the Paw Creek area at about 1:30 this afternoon. So that some of the warning areas, and you can see the whole system is moving to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So that is the tornado itself moving on, apparently spotted by Doppler radar. No confirmation that is on the ground. Atlanta, Georgia had that system, same system that came through there a couple hours ago that spawned a tornado that moved through downtown Atlanta, Georgia. So once again, this is that same weather system tracking into the area. So the alert, once again, the tornado warning in effect until 1:15 this afternoon. Vanessa.
Yeah, that's right, Larry. We wanted to bring folks some videos that we are seeing from around our area, and we are actually hearing, I don't know if we could pull up some of that audio. Yeah, you can hear the tornado sirens going off. This is actually going to be in the Fort Mill area, and that is certainly going to be, you can hear that sound. That's going to be very eerie for folks to hear. And just a reminder, a warning, of course, for everyone who is hearing those sirens to go ahead and get to their safe spot. Once again, away from windows, interior room, preferably a basement. What are we looking at here, guys? More sirens. Okay. So yes, once again, just tracking some of the video that y'all are sending to us. You could see a little bit of a breeze there with some of the trees, but off in the distance, hearing those tornado sirens. So if you are getting into your safe place, we'll remind you too to bring some shoes, bring your bicycle helmet, bring something to protect your head and your neck, and we will continue to track this. I know, Larry, you were saying that this is a system that we've been following for a little while. Actually, my parents are living in the Atlanta area. I just got a text from my mom earlier today saying that they were hearing of a tornado in Atlanta, and so of course the system headed our way now.
Yeah, it was downtown Atlanta. What we heard, was that York in South Carolina? Is that right? That's where that was.
Yeah,
the sirens are going off. Yeah, those sirens are going off in that area right now. That means to take shelter, and we'll kind of zoom in and show you the areas affected by this right now. Lake Wiley, definitely over towards Tega Cay, moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. That storm system is a fast-moving system, so if you're in those areas, please take shelter immediately. Very dangerous storm system with a lot of very, very heavy rainfall, obviously gusty winds. Lake Wiley, put a time on this, 113, 114 about Pine Harbor. Cramerton at 121. If you live in the Belmont area, about 123. Berry Hill community at 125 as it tracks into the Charlotte area. So once again, moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. As we kind of zoom in and show you the area that we're talking about, has moved in some of that storm system tracking into the Lake Wiley area there in South Carolina. So if you live in these communities, please take shelter immediately. If you have any baseball helmet, if you have anything like that, that would be good to use. If you have a bike helmet, whatever it may be. Now this is our camera over to the Panthers bubble there, practice bubble. You can see the heavy rain that's tracking the area. That's moving, that's looking out to the southwest in that general direction from where we got the tornado warning, which came in a little bit ago, about 15 minutes ago, and goes until about 1:15 this afternoon. So if you live in these areas, take shelter immediately. We're going to zoom in and show you some of the communities, some of the highways that we're talking about. A lot of cloud to ground lightning over towards Highway 274 area. That would include South Parham Road, over towards Lincoln Road, an area along Highway 49 as it moves into South Carolina. That just around Highway 274, that intersection of Highway 557 and Highway 274 there in South Carolina. That area, we encourage people to, if you have travel plans and you live in those areas at the moment, please avoid any travel at the moment. This is a dangerous situation, and the tornado warning is in effect until 1:15 this afternoon. We encourage you to take shelter if you live in those areas. Well, just around Lake Wiley, that area right there along Shopton Road as it moves into Mecklenburg County, as it tracks in that general direction over towards Shopton, Highway 160, some of the areas, Berry Hill community over in West Mecklenburg County, just to the west of the airport. Those and other areas along 485 and as you can see into Belmont, Highway 273 there in Belmont, Highway 321 as it tracks into areas in South Carolina. That's the area that we're talking about with this tornado warning in effect. And we treat anything, even this is a Doppler indicated tornado, which means a thunderstorm, mesocyclone, this thunderstorm creating the potential for a tornado, but you can still have winds over 60 miles per hour in those situations. So that's why we encourage you to take shelter immediately. This is until 1:15. That's about 12 minutes from now. That will track into Mecklenburg County. National Weather Service and Greenville-Spartanburg giving us the indication that we had that tornado warning in effect right now. So once again, that's in effect to 1:15 this afternoon. A tornado warning includes parts of Mecklenburg County, Gaston County, York County there in South Carolina. We'll show you the radar picture in that area. Once again, it's moving from the southwest to northeast at about 40 miles per hour. A lot of very heavy rainfall. This could be rain wrap, which means you really can't see this. That's why we encourage people to stay inside, take shelter if you live in those areas from Lake Wiley. That would include the Berry Hill community up towards Mount Holly, also into Belmont. A big storm system, a pretty wide coverage of some very heavy rainfall. This is going to cause ponding of water on the highways. So if you're along 485, Interstate 77 southbound, Highway 321 will we'll show you some of the areas that we're talking about. Highway 279, that intersection of Highway 279 and Highway 273, some of the areas infected, Sherman Lake Road over towards Catawba Cove, Girl Scout Road over towards Walter Drive there in South Carolina. So those are the areas of concern at the moment with this tornado warning in effect. That would include that northeastern corner of York County, the extreme southern part of Gaston County, and then the western part of Mecklenburg County. Vanessa?
Yeah, Larry, thank you. We just want to recap what we know so far. Of course, for folks who are just now tuning in, it is 1:05. We have about 10 minutes left of this tornado warning. Gaston, York counties, and Larry has also mentioned parts of Mecklenburg as well should be aware. Anybody who is going to be within this warning area, we will remind you to get into your safe space. So that will be an interior room, a basement, preferably a room without any windows. Bring your shoes, bring your helmet, bring something to protect your head and neck. If you can, please stay off the roadways. And as always, a good reminder when we get into situations like this to have the WCNC Charlotte mobile app downloaded. That way, if you do have to step away from your television to get into your safe place, you can get all of the alerts you need on that app. You could watch us. You could also, once it is safe, if you see any damage, send it to us using the Near Me feature. So we will remind you, of course, that that is an option, of course, once it is safe. But for now, the priority is to get into your safe place. So once again, 11:15, this tornado warning in effect, Gaston, York, and parts of Mecklenburg counties. And yeah, this is a system that we've been tracking moving through different parts of our region throughout the day, including the Atlanta area where a tornado was reported. So we are just kind of keeping an eye on this as it is moving. Let's send it over to Larry. Anything new that you're seeing?
Yeah, it has not been extended. Brad's going to join us in just a minute here. But this, in fact, it's interesting because with the tornado here, there's new tornado warnings in the Atlanta metro area. So this is a big weather system that has moved into our area. We kind of expected it to track into the region. And Brad, you've been keeping an eye on this weather situation. Pretty fast-moving storm system, moving at about 40 miles per hour at the moment.
Yeah, these are racing. And what I'll tell you, Larry, is that within this little cluster, which is now crossing the Catawba River, there's actually two areas of circulation we've been watching. One is up here in the southeastern part of Gaston County, but there's another one that's kind of in that Carowinds Boulevard area, just to the west there. And those are the two areas. I'm going to go back to the radar here. And what I want to show you is we got two, these are basically outside the tornado warning now as they move into Mecklenburg County. And what I'm going to show you is there's actually a little rotation right here and then right here around Lake Wiley. So there's two distinct areas of circulation. And if you look at the shape of those cells, they kind of have that appendage, that hook on them. And you could see that the shape of it kind of wrapping around, and you see this one doing the same thing. And where we look for the rotation is kind of where you would see the barb on a fish hook. And so that's kind of the area we're looking at. So it's right in there and then right in here. But I will tell you, just looking at the radar signatures now, there's broad rotation. It's not really close to the surface. It looked much stronger when it was back in western Gaston County, or western part of York County heading towards Gaston County line. That's when it looked a lot stronger. So the fact that we have not seen this extended into Mecklenburg County is a good sign. And I'm just looking at what the Weather Service is chatting back and forth, but they're talking about not reissuing a tornado warning for Mecklenburg County right now. So it does not look like we'll see one issued back in here. So they're going to let this expire at about 1:15, which is interesting because the storm that prompted the tornado warning is actually outraced what we call the polygon already. So it's kind of
pushing. Yeah. So, it's also interesting that we've had so many tornado warnings in the Atlanta area today.
Yeah.
Same big system that's moved in here, but enough instability that they did issue this tornado warning.
What I think happened this morning, Larry, and I was watching this morning, it looked like the warm front, well, that's the cold front. There was a warm front that was coming north. And to me, it looks like that's what's causing these quick spin-ups here in Charlotte and in North Carolina, because somewhere right in here, and it looks blue. I know it's not supposed to be blue, we'll tell you. But that's where that's where it looks like the warm front has kind of set up. Let me color that again, we'll show you. And you can see where this warm front is basically right in here. And I was talking about this morning on my vlog, that when we get storms that form on the warm front, there's an area where we get enhanced what's called helicity. It's basically rotation, and those could cause storms to spin up quickly. And I think that's exactly what happened with this one. It spun up real quickly, Larry, as it was coming north.
It was interesting because luckily it's in an area with a where they located an unpopulated area. Over on 2, we have some of these wind speeds all moving towards the radar. So at the moment, probably just a severe thunderstorm, and that still could cause a lot of problems. I think one of the major issues right now is the amount of rain we're getting. Some very heavy rainfall with this.
And we honestly have not seen a ton of rain lately, so a lot of this is running off real quickly.
It's going to cause ponding out there. So if you're traveling right now, probably better not to, but if you are headed out at the moment, notice you're going to hit some very heavy rainfall, probably some gusty winds as well, and I'm not sure if I get a lot of lightning reports on this.
Not a lot, but we are getting some power outages, and I think this is primarily due to the wind causing some trees to come down into the power lines. And so what we've seen is, as you mentioned, Larry, this has been moving very quickly. There's the power outages from Duke Power. So we're starting to see some start to trickle in here and there, and primarily because of some gusty winds. And I noticed those winds picked up quite a bit just ahead of these storms as well. Kind of maybe that what we call the low-level jet, which is the strong winds that are pushing up from the south. But we'll do a quick track of this storm, because even though it's not going to get another tornado warning, at least immediately, it looks like it's going to stay pretty strong as it moves through parts of Charlotte. So we're likely going to see this just become a strong thunderstorm, or like you said, maybe a severe thunderstorm.
Which, I mean, they can cause a lot of damage. We always said to be serious about those severe thunderstorms, but at least they backed off with another tornado.
I'm seeing a ham radio operator, one of our spotters down in Clover, South Carolina, had a gust of 57 miles per hour on 321 near South Ridge Road. So that would verify pretty well to some of the wind speeds.
If you just say real quickly whether it's rather some of the wind speeds that we're getting.
You see some of those basically between about 50 and 55, 60 miles per hour. So even outside of a tornado, there's strong enough winds in there to bring down trees or a power line. So, while this warning is set to expire here in 4 minutes, I think we're going to, I would tell everyone to stay in their shelter location just for now until this expires. Because even if we don't have a tornado, if you're near a window and tree branches or debris fly around, you could still see some damage to your home. The good news is I did not see anything on radar that would confirm a touchdown. And I'm going to go back and look real quickly, because one of the products we can look at is this dual pole data, and it doesn't go back too far. We'll stop it right about here. I didn't see any debris showing up on the radar, which we probably would have seen some as it was moving through there, but it was a strong signature on radar initially.
And that's why they issue a tornado warning. It's called Doppler indicated. It's seen on the radar. It could be, several thousand feet up, but in lieu of and to let people know, we always give these warnings. We stay on the air until the warning is ended. That's why we're on the air right now, because that was for Gaston, York County. Also, it was Cherokee County in South Carolina. A lot of people watch us down there.
It started kind of just east of the Gaffney area near the Blacksburg area, and then was moving pretty much into that northern section of York. It does sound like around Clover there was some type of gusty winds there, maybe up to 60 miles per hour. So whether or not that was a tornado, or what sometimes we see is called the rear flank downdraft, it's a strong gust of wind that comes out of these rotating storms. Could have been either one of those, but we have not seen any other reports of damage in that area. I think by now we would have seen probably something pop up there.
They haven't extended this.
Yeah, and there are no indications that it's going to spin back up. But one thing I'm going to watch here is just to the south, these storms down in Chester County. I don't see anything that looks particularly dangerous there, but those are some other storms. The atmosphere to the south of us, Larry, was a little bit more ripe for this today. As you mentioned,
especially southwest of here.
Down in northeast Georgia, the upstate, the Midlands of South Carolina. These are areas we'll have to watch today. The sun did come out briefly down in those areas as we look at the visible imagery, and some warm, humid air surged up from the south. So there's enough fuel for additional storms to develop. So hopefully we won't see another tornado warning, but there's a distinct possibility we could see additional warnings to our south. So this is getting ready to expire here in about a minute. There's no plans to reissue another warning for Mecklenburg County. And by the way, the warning is completely out of the way now of where that storm actually is.
Fast moving 40 miles an hour. What we are getting, we've been talking about how dry it's been. We're getting some very, very heavy rainfall, drenching rain. So with all the dry weather we've had, at least there's one benefit, the amount of rain. It's just we're also getting some very gusty winds out there.
Yeah, so this warning is set to expire here in about another 30 seconds or so, as that storm is now basically over Mecklenburg County. So just wait this one out until this line passes. We are going to see other lines of storms develop. You can look to the southwest. There are additional thunderstorms coming up I-85 from parts of Georgia into South Carolina. So we will likely see some other strong storms this afternoon. So tornado warning has expired at 1:15. Make sure you download the WCNC News app right now. You can keep up to date on all of these developments throughout the afternoon. If there are additional warnings, we will cut back in, but we'll also stream them live and give you push notifications on the app. We're now going to return to your program already.